and welcome to Business Line. Starting the program at the beginning of 2015, we focus on the top story that has remained in the headlines since last year: oil. Looking at prices of crude, it now seems more like a free fall rather than a slide. Take a look at this. Just over 6 months ago, in mid-June, Brent oil, which is a major benchmark in the world, hit a high near $115. Sounds surreal now when a barrel is less than $50. In our first program, we are looking at how much money could we save when we drive to work or take a plane journey.
It's tumbling and set to fall further. Filling up at the pumps is getting cheaper throughout the Eurozone thanks to the crash in oil prices. The sudden price cuts in petrol represent a massive direct shot of stimulus that governments and central banks have for various reasons avoided. Extra cash is now in the motorists' pockets and could help slash costs in other industries, potentially freeing up money firms can hold or pass on to customers in the form of cuts. If you're filling up in the Netherlands, then your petrol is the cheapest in the Eurozone. But in Estonia, you should be laughing. It's the cheapest. The cost of a litre for diesel and petrol is affected by taxes and the rate of exchange, as oil is priced in dollars. More cuts could be in the way as oil prices continue their downward spiral. Benchmark Brent was down more than 5% to $47.44 a barrel, while US crude fell 4.6% to $46.13, with short-term forecasts by one analyst slashed as Gulf producers showed no signs of curbing output. It may be a surprise windfall for households, but initially the price cuts could prove deflationary as cheaper petrol cuts the cost of living. And for investors, it's uncertain how the market will go. Nobody saw this coming, and it's logical to say from there that nobody knows what is going to happen next, said one analyst.
So in the European Union, it's the Dutch drivers who are feeling the biggest pain at the pump. Back in June, when oil was at $115 per barrel, the petrol in the Netherlands was at around €1.85. A few months later, in October, the retail price didn't really change. But since October, it's got cheaper by 30 cents. And it's the same in Poland, the EU's most driver-friendly country. From around €1.30 once upon a time in June to €1.20 in October and less than €1 now. Why this difference in the pace of the fall between crude and petrol? Remember that the raw material accounts for just around 30–40% of retail petrol prices. All the rest is refinery and distribution costs, VAT and fuel taxes, which vary from country to country. We've got to the airport. Let's now look at our airfares. For the airlines, the share of fuel in overall operating costs is the same, around 30%, and that's why we won't feel a big difference in the airfares. The International Air Transport Association expects the tickets price to go down by just 5% on average. We asked Fabrice Bregier, Airbus CEO, whether tickets will be cheaper.
Yes, I believe so. The surcharge on fuel will be reduced, if not eliminated, which will boost air traffic and increase the demand for more aircraft.
In a few years, we may not care about the petrol prices at all, as car makers are working on new all-electric vehicles. Eco-friendly, they also appear to be smart and look spectacular.
The North American International Auto Show opens in Detroit this week, showcasing what car makers hope will be the future. Style and performance is what the experts say are the winning attributes of the Mercedes GLE Coupe. It tops the power of the BMW X6M and can outmuscle the Porsche Cayenne Turbo and Range Rover. It will hit the dealerships in August. The transformation from the internal combustion engine to hybrid is clearly on show. Governments seem to love alternative fuel cars, but with the drop in oil prices impacting on petrol, how much will Chevrolet's investment in cars like the electrical Bolt pay off? The green machine, it's claimed, has a range of 320 kilometres and is due to hit the market in 2 years. Luxury German carmaker BMW will unveil a number of new models, while alongside the electrical alternatives, there are plenty of gas guzzlers, which ultimately still fuel Detroit's profits. But absent will be Google's self-driving car, though the man who is leading Google's project, Chris Urmson, will be there.
What's even more fascinating is the self-driving cars. Even though I still have time to take my driving tests before these cars hit the roads, these vehicles unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show look like cars of the future. And here comes Giacomo, who thinks that the transition to an entirely connected lifestyle would still take some time. Why? Take a look. This is it. This is IT.
Wearables, all sorts of connected devices, and even drones, a wide range of gadgets was on display at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. And yet, just because technology allows smartphone-controlled coffee machines, it doesn't necessarily mean we want one. Proof of that comes in figures just unveiled by the Consumer Electronics Association. In 2014, almost 80% of global spending involved only 7 products: TVs, tablets, smartphones, regular phones, desktops, notebooks, and digital cameras. That means the new form factors still have a long way to go. And sometimes even devices long thought dead can stage a comeback. Research firm Gartner says PC shipments in the last quarter of 2014 grew 1%, the first increase since 2012. So, what kind of 2015 can we expect? According to the CEA, 36% of global technology spending will flow into 2 categories: tablets and smartphones. In both areas, prices are predicted to fall as growth in emerging markets outpaces developed nations. Don't be surprised, then, that the only phones presented at the CES clearly target countries like India. Microsoft, for example, introduced a $29 smartphone, the Nokia 215. That was it. That was IT.
Looking ahead, as Greece heads to early general elections this month, there are more concerns outside and inside the country. Even though the people there are tired of all the austerity measures, they are not so optimistic about the country's future.
Consumer confidence in Greece has worsened markedly, while there has been a weakening of expectations in all sectors of the economy except construction. Those are 2 results from a survey by the Foundation for Economic and Industrial Research, the IOBE, and come as the country heads into a snap election in 2 weeks' time. The IOBE said its overall index for the Greek economy fell to 98.9 points in the final month of the year, from 102.7 in November, its lowest level since April 2014. The index is based on consumer confidence gauges and readings of the business outlook in sectors including retail, trade and services.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.